My name is Belinda Mapongwana. I am a director of Mapongwana Attorneys and also the founder, and I'm an attorney. I grew up in Gugulethu, born and raised. After 15 years, we moved to Khayelitsha. I spent most of my teenage life in Khayelitsha until I got a job here in Johannesburg, and I haven't left Johannesburg since 2001. I had a very interesting high school life because I studied during the time of apartheid, and we were very active politically, and the school encouraged that activism. But I was a very studious person. I was always very focused in my studies, and even then I knew that I wanted to do law. So everything else was directed towards me going to university and studying law. So what attracted me to law was the idea of being of service and also fighting for justice, because I grew up in an era where that was lacking. I think that was one motivating factor. I didn't grow up with any lawyers in my family or anyone that I would have said that I wanted to emulate. In 1995, I started university, but I studied law during the time where you had to have an undergraduate and then do law as a postgraduate. So I started with an undergrad social science degree, and then I studied LLB. I think for me, what motivated me always was the why. I always took a long-term view of things. I knew where I wanted to be. Yes, it wasn't always easy to be focused and to remain with that vision of where you see yourself. But I think my discipline and my focus were two contributing factors. The difference in what you study and what you are faced with in the workspace at the time, for me, I must be honest, was like oil and water. There was no preparation. There was no bridging, sort of like a bridging of these two gaps, which in my view were very wide. As a result, after 6 months of doing articles, I then got a scholarship and went and studied a master's in Amsterdam. It was actually more than 10 years. The kind of preparation that I had to do was, first of all, to believe in myself. Because when I started the firm, I didn't have any client. I started the firm from nothing. So the only thing I had was the belief in myself. The highlight of my career, interestingly, has been to start my own firm has been a highlight of my career. I think I've had many highlights. But I think the biggest of them all is actually to pass my LLB from UCT. Young people who want to be, particularly in this industry, is that they need to understand that this is a very trying career. It is trying in the sense that you have to be disciplined. It is trying in the sense that you have to put in the hours. I think what I want for Mapongwana Attorneys is for it to be an employer of choice for young people, and young and old, more experienced lawyers as well. But I want it to be a place where people, when they walk in the door, this was my vision when I started. When they walk through the door, a young black woman or man wanting to be a lawyer understands on day one that they are capable. To a 19-year-old who's probably just started university, or to a 25-year-old who's just finished university wanting to come into the legal profession, I would say going in to university, you have to remain focused. You have to understand what is it that you want to do, and you have to be okay with the fact that law is not going to be the same as any other course that your friends are taking at university. So you have to be clear about the consequences of choosing to do law. So this is someone who's coming into university. So someone who's leaving university, they've now got their degree, they want to come into the legal profession to start their articles and to become to write the bar exam and become an admitted attorney. Is that continues. That discipline that you had at university continues. It's just that now it's actually on a higher scale, because you are now playing with the people that you were at university with. They are going to be your peers. They are going to be going ahead of you. Things will happen. Your journey is going to be your own journey. It's going to have its own challenges. I think just as long as you see it as a journey, that it is really a marathon. It is not a sprint. If you look at it as a sprint, you're going to be so disillusioned, because each and every day is challenging. So look at it as more of a marathon, that you decided to embark yourself, your own self, without looking at what other people are doing. Just look at what is it that you want to achieve, and look at it from a long term. The other thing that I think I would definitely encourage, seek mentors. Seek mentors while you're at university, people who are already in the industry. Certainly when you start your career in a law firm, you have to have a mentor. And a mentor is someone who will guide you, who will answer those questions for you where things don't make sense, where you actually think that you have made the wrong choice. You probably haven't made the wrong choice. It's just that you don't have the right support. And that support can come from someone who's walked the path that you are now just starting to embark on. So I would say mentorship, both at university and certainly when you start your career, is very important.